What's up, guys? It's Skill Up here with another Should I Buy It, which is a weekly look at what's dropped at the vendors, whether or not you should buy it, and then, of course, if you do buy it, how do you mod it? I do these videos every single week, so if you like this sort of stuff, remember to check back this time every week, and of course, if you like the video, drop a like, and if you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button now. So it's a really big week, so let's get straight into it. At DZ5, we actually have two really worthwhile weapon mods. We've got Extended Magazine, which rolls magazine size as its base, as its sort of guaranteed stat, which is obviously a bit of a prerequisite for the vast majority of weapons that you're going to be using, and also a random bonus, and that can include sort of weapon damage, which is a really nice one to have. So yeah, if you can afford this one, I'd recommend thinking about it. And the other one is a muzzle brake blueprint, which has stability as its base requirement, and you know, obviously a random bonus. Now, stability is really good for assault rifles, and assault rifles are probably going to become a lot more popular in patch 1.2, given that there's some gear sets that really sort of support assault rifles. So I'd probably recommend thinking about this one as well if you've got the Darkzone funds for it. Alright, so at the DZ3 vendor, the one that sells the good stuff, we have a really interesting selection this week. And I have to tell you, there's something I'm gonna release a video on this later today, but you know, balanced is being nerfed in patch 1.2, so it's no longer going to provide this sort of really tiny constant reticle that we're used to. However, what almost nobody knows, and what I discovered during testing a little while back, was that Capable, this talent here that appears on this M1A and on this custom M44, is actually almost exactly the same thing as balanced, right? If you can get this thing to proc, you are going to get that very small reticle, just like you did with balance. So you obviously need to use an ability every 13 seconds to maintain full uptime on that, but it's very easy to achieve that with just a small amount of skill power and electronics. So my advice to you is, if you have 55,000 credits lying around and you don't have an M1A that already has Capable on it, I would really, really, really strongly recommend buying this weapon, because it is absolutely going to out DPS a higher M1A marksman rifle that does not have Capable, so long as you have the right build for it. And it's absolutely going to destroy any M44, even this one down here, which is the other one. I've jumped ahead a little bit, but the custom blueprint this week for rank 75 is an M44. Now, everyone is going to love this. Everyone's very excited about an M44. I have a really good M44, and it's here, and I'll show it to you. It's got accurate, it's got proficient, it's got brutal. It's quite nice, as you can see. I've got 2,400 firearms in this build, and it's sort of sitting at about 200k DPS. Look, M44s are really nice. I don't want you to think that I'm not saying that they aren't. I love my M44. It's actually my favorite weapon to fire. However, let me tell you this. If you go with this weapon here, the SOCOM M1A with Capable, and you get a build that is able to use an ability every 13 seconds, and you maintain full uptime on that Capable buff, on that Capable talent, you will destroy the damage that any other weapon could do, including that my M44, which is a 182, which is accurate, proficient, and brutal. You will still do more damage than that. And I've actually run the numbers on that as well. That's not just me talking. That's me like actually mathing that out, looking at you know, divisiondps.com and the spreadsheet that I use, and telling you for a fact that that is the case. So please, if you don't have a Capable M1A yet, please buy this one, because you will not regret it. Now, next one up we have is this military M9, which is, you know, expert and destructive. Very nice combination in terms of raw damage output, but your pistol is not really for damage. It's really for sort of like complementing your build with something like cool-headed or a bleed effect or something like that. So, you know, it might be good for someone who's planning on doing a lot of tanking and you really want to sort of, you know, put out more damage with your pistol. But, you know, to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't recommend this one. This custom M44, as I said, it's got stable and capable on it. Two really beautiful talents to have on a marksman rifle, but to be honest with you, I think they're a little bit wasted on an M44. You really don't need that much reticle control or stability on an M44, because the time between fire on each shot is so long, it's not really a problem. So I'd actually go for raw damage talents on an M44 rather than stability or accuracy talents. We've got this PX4 Storm T blueprint, which is a pistol. I personally would not spend 200,000 Darkzone credits on a pistol, but there you go, there it is. And obviously we've already spoken about the custom M44 blueprint. Look, it's nice, don't get me wrong, you'll really enjoy firing it, but I'm telling you this now, it is not the best DPS marksman rifle in patch 1.2. That title will absolutely fall to a capable M1A. So just a word of warning there. Turning now to the big one, the base of operations. What has the vendor got in store for us this time around? So first of all, we have this tactical MK16 assault rifle. Now, I'm just going to say this very quickly. Do not buy this weapon. It is absolutely no good. Its base damage roll is really low. As you can see, I'm rocking a 182 Vector that has sort of more base damage than that, even though I've got some mods on it. But regardless, it's still a very low roll. It's got a very slow RPM, and then the mag size isn't particularly impressive. The talents are Provident, which the last bullet in the magazine deals 57% more damage. Now, you actually want this talent on things like an M44 marksman rifle or a shotgun because they have very small magazines, and the sort of damage is distributed in a way that's far better for a talent like this. But if you've got like 30 rounds in a mag and only one of them is dealing 57% more damage, it's not good. So that's not a great talent for this weapon type. Destructive obviously is very nice, and Predatory is a nice talent to have for solo farming and also just for general sustain. So it's not bad, but overall, absolutely do not buy this weapon. It is not good. The next one we have is a Vector 45 ACP. Now I will say this is quite a decent Vector. It's got 11k base damage on it, which is really quite strong. It's got Brutal, which obviously is just one of the best talents in the game. Even though it is about to be nerfed, it's still extremely strong. Anyone that says that Brutal is trash tier now has absolutely no clue what they are talking about. Brutal is still a top tier talent, so do not doubt that. It has Ferocious. Now, Ferocious is really nice. However, at this gear level, you may struggle to hit the requirement. You're actually going to need 2,000 in each stat in order to get that, and that's tricky at the best of times. Now, that's obviously going to get easier as we gear up and as we get more gear in patch 1.2. It's going to be easier for us to hit that requirement. And in that context, this weapon is actually quite decent. But for now, just be conscious of the fact that you may not be able to hit that Ferocious requirement. Finally, we have Determined. Killing a target reduces skill cooldowns by 9%. I actually really like this talent. Yeah, I mean, it depends obviously on your build and your playstyle and the like, but overall it's quite strong. If you're solo farming in particular, it can be really, really helpful because, your average group of mobs in, say, the Darkzone is probably at least, 4 to 6. And if you're able to kill all of them, you're obviously going to be getting 40 to 60% off your cooldowns. Very, very helpful. So yeah, not a bad talent at all. But yeah, so the answer on this one, should you buy this one? Look, I would say yes. I'd probably think about buying it if you don't have anything better. The Vector really excels in a PvP context because it's got some really great burst damage and some really strong stability. If, however, you are looking for a PvE weapon, then you'd probably go for something like an Org, which has better overall damage because of its larger magazine size. So, look, it's a nice weapon to have. It doesn't blow me away. It's not like, oh my god, yes, must buy. But if you've got the Phoenix credits to spend, think about it. However, I will say this, patch is coming this week, and I think we're going to be able to buy new stuff from the vendor, as in new set blueprints, which is what we could do last time. I would actually much rather spend my Phoenix credits on new set items than purchasing this Vector, because it's a good Vector, but it's not an amazing Vector. So I'd probably think about holding onto your Phoenix credits in that context. We also have this custom P45. It's got Expert and Deadly. Again, not fantastic. Pistols are really designed to sort of accentuate your build. You'd be looking for something like Cool-Headed or something that provides bleed like the Damascus does. So I probably wouldn't recommend spending credits on this one. So very quickly, I'd like to show you exactly how Capable works, just in case you don't quite believe me. Here I have this is the Capable M1A that I got a few weeks back, and this is where I sort of discovered how this all worked. Using a skill improves the handling of your weapon for 12.5 seconds. I've also got Predatory and Stable on it. It's quite a nice roll, but obviously it's only a 163. So I'm just using a crappy sort of Tacticians build right now. I don't mean Tacticians is crappy, I mean that the build is very unoptimized because I've literally just thrown this gear on for this video to get my skill power up. To demonstrate what I'm talking about, I'm just going to stack my skill power now so that it's nice and high, and you get to see what I mean in terms of getting my cooldowns low enough. So we see now that I'm on, 55k skill power, which you don't need this much skill power, but this is again just for demonstration purposes. I'm going to take my M1A out and I'm going to start firing, and you're seeing that the reticle is getting really large. Yep, cool, it's quite large. It's what we expect an M1A to behave like in patch 1.2. You'll also notice that there's a fair amount of instability in the weapon as well. It's moving from side to side. I'm sort of having to adjust it quite a bit. That's how that works, okay? Now, what happens when I pop an ability? Observe. My reticle does not move. It is small, just like balanced was. Now, I'm still getting a fair amount of weapon movement, as in instability, which indicates to me that this talent is only affecting the my accuracy, not the stability of my weapon. I still need to put horizontal stability and stability on this M1A to make it really work. But yeah, that's it. So balanced is dead. Long live capable. It allows us to use our M1A in exactly the same way that we used it with balanced. And for that reason, the M1A will continue to be the highest PvE DPS weapon in the game, and of course PvP, but we all know that we can't land consistent headshots like that in PvP. So please buy that weapon if you don't have one. Try and find yourself a capable M1A when you're grinding the Darkzone. I'm going to release a video very soon about an optimized build for how to make the most of this. But, obviously something like what I've got here isn't too bad in that it stacks a lot of skill power. It's focused on pulse. It's focused on smart cover. And, I'm able just to fire. And that rate of fire is just huge. So I'm going to release some more information on that later on. But for now, that's it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I do these videos every week, as I've said, that talks about not only what to buy, but sort of how to mod it when you get it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Take good care of yourselves. See you in patch 1.2. Take care now. Bye-bye.